Welcome to Overtime on Inferno, your weekly roundup of all the big stories in CSGO, quicker than we can figure out time zones. A quick reminder to rate and review us before the end of the episode. It really helps us. I'm Logan. This is Aizyesque. This is the first time I've done the intro by memory. Let's get into it.
Well, I have something we need to talk about quickly before we get into the Counter-Strike. Very important news. It's Steam sale. Have you bought any games yet?
I have. I in fact have. Okay. I can pull up the. So I bought Dark Souls 3.
Interesting.
Which I haven't played it, but my
you
roommate
bought it anyway.
Right?
So
no, I've played it since this point. But
okay.
My roommate actually is a huge Dark Souls fan. You know who my roommate is. My roommate's a big Dark Souls fan, and I watched him play through Elden Ring. And I made fun of him for dying so many times, knowing it was a Dark Souls game. But basically, I was then bullied into saying that he's like, you have to beat Dark Souls now. And now it's like, okay, where do I start? And he said Dark Souls 3. And Dark Souls 3 wasn't on sale. So I bought Sekiro. And then I found it was on sale on Kinguin, so I bought it. So I bought Dark Souls 3 and I returned Sekiro. So
Sekiro is meant to be the hardest one as well. From what
so I'm playing Dark Souls 3. He's trying to speed run all of the Dark Souls before I beat 3. It'll probably happen, to be fair, because I'm terrible. It took me like a day and a half to finish the tutorial boss. It was not good.
Yeah, I played Elden Ring. That was my first Souls game. I died a lot. Like, a lot.
All right.
But I kind of find the sort of mysticism around it kind of strange. Like, oh, it's the hardest. Like, you're not a real game if you don't play Souls.
Yeah. So I'll speed run the rest of my list, but have it in mind that this list was purchased. I own a Steam Deck now, so I was trying to fill out my library of like Steam Deck games as well. So Tunic, which is an isometric Dark Souls-ish kind of game, which was really good. Black Mesa, which is the remake of Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
Death's Door, which is also an isometric game. Good Company, which is a like factory building simulator kind of game. It Takes Two. I wanted to play it with a friend, and it was on sale.
Then you realized you didn't have any.
Bought No, I do. We're gonna play it later. And then FIFA 22 because it was $9, and all of my friends are good at FIFA, and I want to have some sort of anime training arc in which I become adequate at FIFA.
Yeah, pretty much everyone I know thinks they're good at FIFA.
No,
everyone who plays it thinks they're good.
I have a friend who's actually good, but I just want to have an anime training arc to become adequate.
What do you mean by actually good? Because I think I'm actually good at FIFA, but I'm not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
he beats the rest of us, which is like, I don't know.
No. Like I'm
he's what we call European good as opposed to American good.
Yeah, I've only bought 3 games so far on Steam sale. I've bought a game called Get to the Orange Door, which is like it's kind of like a movement shooter. Okay. It's in early access. It was like $5 or something. It's kind of fun. A game called Neon White, which is one of the game itself is really good. It's like a mixture of like fucking Trackmania and a shooter. It's like a speedrunning shooting game. But for some reason, the story mode is like aggressively like horny. The dialogue is terrible.
Wait,
it's really strange. It's like an anime game for some reason, and like there's like a dating sim tacked on if you can be asked. I refuse to engage in it. But the actual speedrunning bit is really fun. You get like a rocket launcher with a grappling hook. It's great.
I heard Trackmania. I got excited.
Yeah, it's like Trackmania with guns almost. It kind of reminds me of playing like an old Sonic game, but because you're just like running around at speed, except you have a gun. Wow, yeah. It's great. It's great fun. I also bought Mini Motorways, which
Mini Motorways is great.
Yeah, it's intensely frustrating, but in a good way. Like
I'm making sure this is the game I'm thinking about. Yeah.
I'm just constantly shouting my screen like, why the fuck have you built a house there if you wanted to go to the other side of the city? Just build your house nearer to the place you want to go. Why didn't they think of this?
Yep. I've been a big mini Metro guy since it came out on like phones years and years ago, and I've been doing like city builders and stuff like that. So I understand this. I
Yeah,
understand
it's a
this a lot.
good game to
I
play at like
literally
3 in the morning.
I literally bought a factory simulator game. I can't be talking much about stuff.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
that's what I've bought this Steam sale.
Steam sale was a little lackluster. I was a little upset about like that. Like Dark Souls 3 wasn't on sale, which was just annoying. But
Yeah.
whatever, we found it from other places. All right, we have like some Counter Strike things to talk about. We're in a weird. Okay, so this is a weird time right now. Counter Strike fans are down bad enough that we were watching a grand final on a Thursday. Um,
Yeah.
let's talk
Like,
about Roobet. So
the
so
thing
if
is,
someone
so
decides,
they're Roobet are a betting quote unquote. They're shady as shit. But
yeah,
as you'll find out later, they're barely even scraping that. Like, they're not even bottom feeders when it comes to shady in esports
yeah.
tournament
Today's the Shady
organizers.
episode.
Yeah.
Today's the Shady episode. So as we talked about last week, Roobet Cup exists. They're having a grand final. As we're recording this, hopefully the day it comes out, maybe the final will be over by that point. It's on a Thursday for some fucking reason. Because apparently Thursday is the day that we all watch Counter Strike, not Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Thursday is actually the weirdest day you could have picked. Like, nothing important ever happens on a Thursday, except this podcast.
Yeah, and it only gets released on a Thursday.
Yeah,
We record on Wednesday normally.
yeah. And anything important
Um,
happens on Wednesday evening, just after
yeah,
we've recorded.
yeah, that's how this works. But there were a lot of good teams here. There were a lot of banger teams. Some of them did terrible. Cough complexity.
It's
Some of them
just
did
like
well.
Complexity are trying to make a roster change. They obviously won't get it through before Cologne. They are trying, I'm pretty sure. I've heard some
Yeah,
rumors, but the problem is that
man.
NA is barren. So the AWPer, there's one good AWPer in North America. It's the problem, and he's on Liquid. So like, what are you
and
supposed to do?
and Liquid does not want to give him up.
No.
Um, yeah. So top 8 for this event are Eternal Fire, sure. 9Z,
Yeah,
sure.
they're the big surprise. I think 9Z are the big surprise. They beat Furia twice in best of threes. Now, you could say that's a disappointing result for Furia, and you would be correct. But I choose to believe that 9Z are actually good,
I could
regardless of
go with
any
that.
logic. Like, I'm just
Oh
choosing to
yeah,
believe they're
no,
good.
it's the copium logic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's top 8. Forza top 8. Happy to see Forza doing well again because I enjoy watching our good friend
Jerry,
Jerry. Yeah.
love Jerry.
Top 4 is Astralis and Cloud9 in third or fourth. They lost to the grand finalists, FaZe Clan, and who would have ever guessed it, Big,
Yeah,
because
it's
of
the
course.
two clans in the final, right?
Yep.
Big Clan and FaZe
Uh,
Clan. I mean, I think it's an online event, which is probably why Big are in the final.
that's a good point. This is an online event.
Yeah, online event with a
That's why it's on
final on a
Thursday.
Thursday, and we're actually like people are actually caring about it. It's incredible.
The only reason people are caring is because they paid these teams so much to be here.
Yeah, they
The
must have
prize
done.
pool is just actually so bad too. Like it's 150,000 to the first place winner.
I mean, that's not bad. I wouldn't be
It's
like,
not okay.
look,
Wait for a second. It's
I
not
wouldn't
bad
be
for a
turning
tier
down
2 event, but like
150 grand on a Thursday, middle of the week.
yeah, but like this event also went on for like 3 weeks.
I wasn't.
I don't
that long.
know.
It was like a week.
This event just is so sketch to me. FaZe should absolutely wipe Big in the finals, in my opinion.
They won't though. Big's like they've already beaten FaZe at this event, and they beat them at the RMR. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is about Big, but they just for some reason just turn it on against FaZe. I think it's just because they're so well structured, and like FaZe are very good at breaking down teams when they're like in like 2v3s, 2v4s. Like they actually win the 3v5s. Like whereas Big they don't make as many mistakes. They don't do anything brilliant, but they don't really make as many mistakes. And FaZe are like the best team in the world at punishing any kind of like tiny mistake.
Yeah. Also, Searson's having an event.
He does this from time to time. Like every time I think Searson's bad, he just goes, "Oh yeah, no, I'm just going to be the best player in the world for one event," and then go on strike for the rest of the year.
It's like in the NBA. We had bubble TJ Warren.
Yeah.
When we were in the bubble, and TJ Warren, the unknown player from the Suns, just becomes the best player in the NBA for like literally 2 weeks, and then goes away for like 3 years after that.
Yep.
Same thing.
Bizarre.
Right,
I mean, it is an online event, which might, big during the online era were one of the best teams in the world. They're on an online event. They're one of the best teams in the event. Like maybe they're just onliners. Who knows?
Okay. Next thing on the docket. Tomorrow, Friday, a normal day to start tournaments, is when ESL Challenger, which is basically what DreamHack used to be, RIP DreamHack, and ESL Impact begin. So those are actually two cool things. So Challenger has some good teams in it. If I pull it up, it has Furia, it has Outsiders, it has Movistar Riders, it has MIBR, it has 2 people from 00 Nation, because fuck if we know who's playing for that team at this point.
I do actually know who's playing for that team.
I was going to say, I also do know who's playing for that team.
This will be released. Like they're playing on the day this is probably going to be released. So I can just tell you.
Well, no, we're releasing today.
Okay, well, either way, it's going to be Dumao, Lato, Tri, Cold Zero, and Taco. Like that's what it's going to be. Don't ask me why Barton's on the bench. I don't know, but he is.
Yep.
Because Barton's really good, but they're just going to bench him anyway. Just like they bench Malbs for no fucking reason, because they're just letting Cold Zero do what he fucking wants.
But yeah, there's 4 top 20 teams here, including MIBR, and then 2 more teams that are in the top 40, and then wherever you classify 00 Nation, which I think to both of us is like a -3 because they benched Malbs. But
this team might be good. I mean, like Dumao is really fucking good. I don't think people quite realize how good Dumao is. Almost like he is probably the biggest talent coming out of Brazil at the moment. He's like 17 or some shit. He's an absolute monster on both the rifle and the AWP. He's really fucking good. If they'd have just signed Dumao instead of, I don't know, Leo or something, or instead of VSM, this team would be kind of interesting. I don't see Lato as an upgrade on Malbs. I don't see Taco as an upgrade on... Actually, he's an upgrade on Cold Zero as an in-game leader, but Cold Zero is a busted fucking flush. I don't get it. Like, maybe he proves me wrong. If he's not the best player at this event, it's not worth the effort as far as I'm concerned. He should be the best player at this event. He's Cold Zero. He was the best player at a major twice. He should be the best player at an ESL Challenger event, but he won't be.
But we do have our personal, the TLDR favorite team of the event, which is Rare Atom, which is the Chinese team with Kaze. You may remember Kaze from VC Gaming many years ago.
Veni Vedi Vici.
And Jamyoung, who you're really, really excited about.
Jamyoung's a really good player.
Also a former VC player.
Jamyoung is probably the biggest talent to come out of the Asian region. I think he's still quite young. He's
20.
Yeah, he's one of the smartest players Asia's ever had, and he backs it up with the like classic mechanics that you expect from a Chinese player. But they will rip your head off, but he actually can play a bit as well as, just running in blind and shooting you. Rare Atom should be a better team than Tyloo. Tyloo were horrendous at the last event. I think Rare Atom are more likely to be any good. However, I know nothing about Mosier and Mercury.
So this is actually just straight up, I believe it's the former VC team. Like, it is straight up this. Actually, I think Mosier and Mercury are new from it, but Advent, Kaze, and Jamyoung are all 3 from the former VC team. I think they released their team, and so the 3 of them plus Mercury and Mosier.
I think one of them's really young. Yeah, Mosier's like 17. So I've never seen him play. I'm kind of interested to. I'm working 2 of the days of the event, so I will Well, I'll see Rare Atom on the first day. I'd be surprised if I see them on the final day, but you never know. I'm kind of interested because this should be they are in theory the best team in Asia. They've got the guy who I think is probably the best player in the region in Jam Young. They've got Advent, who's an actual in-game leader instead of like B and Tet talking through a speaking spell, because he translates from the coach to the players in Chinese. Yep. And then I think there's another player who doesn't even speak. Whatever. Whereas I think Rare Atom all speak the same language, which is seems like a good sign.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 4 Brazilian teams for some reason in an event in Spain. I don't know why that's a thing. I think there's 2 European teams. There's Movistar and Sprout.
And outsiders.
Yeah, who you can class as either European CIS, or... it's like...
But they're in the European subcontinent.
Yeah.
Kind of.
A little bit of Russia is. Most of it's in Asia.
It's actually most of it's Russian. Other tournament that starts tomorrow... want to talk about it like really quickly is ESL Impact Valencia. So historically during DreamHack Opens, you generally had a DreamHack Open Showdown. That's the name. I couldn't think of it the other week, which was the women's event, and we're keeping with that now. As we've stated before, happy to see more of these with legitimately good teams. Like the last one that was in Dallas had most of these same teams, and it was a banger event, and now we're doing it again. It's gonna be a banger event again. There's like Australian teams here now, and the greatest team name I've ever heard, which is the Navi Javelins.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool name.
Like, who decided that the Navi team was just gonna be the Javelins? That's great.
Yeah, it is good. I agree. That is a good, like, I think my team's called the Javelins. Like, you can't explain it. Like, there's no sort of like logic.
No,
they're just the Javelins. Cool.
It's Javelins.
It's kind of like a American sports team name.
It really is.
Not as sincere Javelins.
Okay, we're gonna move on because that was too scary. That was too spot on. All right, we have a bit that we got to talk about. So Blast.
Yeah,
we said this was this. What did I say? This was the Shady episode. We had
I mean, we just talked about ESL, and ESL have their own Faustian bargain with the Saudis.
With the Saudis,
and, I cannot grandstand to you about this being a bad idea because I work with ESL, so I can't be like a beacon of morality, but Blast Upon event on in the UAE, sponsored by Neom, which, look, if you're unaware about the UAE, homosexuality is legal there. So if you're an LGBTQ fan of esports, Counter-Strike, you're shit out of luck, I'm afraid.
There's a lot of human rights issues there as well. That's not just that. It's not a great time. To be fair, I can't say that them holding a tournament in the US right now is any much of a better statement, but
let's not get into that.
But like this ain't a great look, especially because what was it, like 2 years ago when they tried to partner with Neom, everyone was like, absolutely not, go to hell.
I think this is said, okay, could be wrong.
I don't see anything on the HLTV thing. It's
okay. I might have made that bit up, but they tried to be sponsored by Neom. Everyone was like, "The fuck are you doing?" And now they're like, "Oh no, it's fine. We're just going to put our biggest event in UAE. It's fine. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. So
I'll quickly check the press release and make sure.
The company they're doing it with is called AE Gaming.
Oh, it's AD Gaming. Okay, it's not Neom.
Yeah,
it's AD Gaming,
which I think actually owns Nigma Galaxy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean their roots go through everywhere in esports. It seems like you can't you can't avoid every game, every TO has some shady deal. Like, the Roobet Cup, let's just boycott that. And then it's like, oh, we got an ESL event. Oh, we got a Blast event. Oh, okay. In that case, I'll go Valorant. Tencent did
Oh,
what?
and yeah, Riot owned partially by Tencent.
Yeah,
That's
like
a problem.
it's okay. At least Riot
Yeah,
Games, the company, are fine, and it's just the Twitch clueless emote. They would never sexually harass women who work for them. Clueless.
yeah. Gaming's not a great place.
Yeah, nothing. That's a problem. That's the thing. Like, it's great to have morals and to stand up for them, but it's really fucking difficult because everyone's shady. Everyone takes blood money. All of the
have you
puppet
ever
masters have got blood on their hands.
have you ever seen The Good Place, the TV show?
I haven't.
Okay, so spoiler alert for anyone who wants to watch the show. I'm going to talk about it quickly. Basically, they're like every good thing you do is assigned a point value, right? So you do a good thing, you get more points. You do a bad thing, you get less points, right? And they're like, okay, so to get into the good place, you need to have like 10,000 points or whatever. And it used to be super easy, but like today, it's really difficult. And the reason they said it is because like when you buy strawberries, organic strawberries, right? That's a good thing. But then those strawberries were picked out by migrant workers paid under minimum wage who were human trafficked into this like, and the ripple effects make everything just like negative, and that's what I feel like esports is right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's not just esports. I mean that should be
Oh
said.
yeah, no, it's not
But
just esports.
but yeah, it's like, well, at some point you either have to take a stand and consume nothing, or you have to just give in to apathy. And that's obviously like there's no correct answer. Like, do you give up the thing that brings you joy because you don't
Yeah.
ethically agree with the companies who do it, or do you consume in the knowledge that what you're doing is not ethical? Like what there's no correct decision. Like, at some point you have to make that decision.
All right, I got one more like important bit to talk about today.
Can we bring the
Uh,
mood up a little bit with this one? I don't know what it is.
oh no, this one isn't a
Oh, okay.
this one's actually gonna be a little rough. So Owen Roe is the art director at eFuse, formerly Evil Geniuses, really awesome designer. I've been following on Twitter for a million years, and I got alerted to something yesterday because of one of his tweets, which was that TSM laid off a bunch of people, which is not a specific to Counter-Strike thing, but it's an esports thing. And so he tweeted the following: esports industry is in for an extremely rough time. This recession is going to hit hard. TSM layoffs are just the beginning. Esports is entirely dependent on VC funding. Few teams, if any, are cash flow positive. VC funding is drying up quickly. The little revenue esports teams currently generate is going to decline due to less customer spending. TLDR, esports poverty arc. So it's more of a thing that I wanted to touch on, which I said this is not going to be a fun thing, is that um, esports has been in a bubble for a really long time.
And not a TJ
Uh,
Warren bubble either.
no, not a TJ Warren bubble. Like, just have been in like an economic bubble for a really long time because everything's been in a good place, and that bubble's about to pop. And the question is, what does esports look like post bubble? And I don't have a good
So
answer to this.
so the thing is, this bubble, I mean, I 100% agree. However, people have been saying that for a long. The bubble's been about to pop since I started watching esports like 5-6 years ago,
Oh yeah,
right? Maybe more,
absolutely.
7 years ago. The bubble's been about to pop for ages, and for every TSM are laying off people, there's Blast just announced a deal in the UAE for a shit ton of money. Like, I don't necessarily think that the bubble is about to burst, but the bubble may be propped up by less than stellar characters. Is probably I I,
Yeah,
I I think I think this
I don't
segues quite
disagree
well
with that.
actually into Richard Lewis, who
Oh
announced
yeah,
his retirement from covering esports this week. Um, Basically saying it hasn't been fun for like it stopped being fun around 2018, and I think you could tell from like
Cloud9 won a major, and he just decided it wasn't fun anymore. Now that America had actually done something.
people people have their own opinions on Richard Lewis. You know, I have mixed feelings on him, but I think he's generally a good guy, and you could tell that he was not having fun. And he used to be quite a funny fucking guy. He used to be
Yeah,
for all the thing like every everything you want to say about him. He used to be a funny, kind of, maybe not laid back, but a little bit more laid back. And you could tell that it had been grating on him, that he just couldn't do it anymore. I'm happy for him that he decided to call it quits because, like he said, I think he probably saw this blast deal coming and was like, fuck it, that's the final straw. Like, it wasn't the biggest straw, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was something else behind the scenes. Maybe it was just a general malaise. But either way, I think he saw this car crash coming and decided to jump out the car. And all the fucking power to him, to be honest.
Yeah, so on that saddening,
Yeah, we got
sad end to the. Are there any other bits we need to get to this week? So, by the way, we're very aware of the fact that Cologne starts next week.
Sorry, I've forgotten. Cologne starts next week. We have a talent lineup for that. There's no massive surprises, I don't think. There's no Pimp,
Shocks
which I think was surprising. Shocks are still there. Veracity's a third desk host. I think that's probably for the B stream.
But TLDR is we don't have any matches, so we're not going to talk a huge amount about. I mean, like anyone who listens to this podcast knows our rough world rankings, and realistically, the rough world ranking says that's who should win the event. Like, okay, it should be a Navi face final. There we go, done. That's our like.
I'm very sad because I took work on 2 different ESL events for the next couple of days. And then later on, they're like, oh, by the way, do you want to work the Cologne B stream? Oh, by the way, do you want to come to Valencia and work on ESL Impact? I could have gone to Cologne or Valencia, and instead I'm sat in my room working other events at the same time.
I don't know what to tell you about that.
I could have been on the talent. No, I wouldn't have been it.
You should get... No, you know what you should do? You should get a group chat with all the people who normally offer you work and say, if you want to offer me something, send it here so that way everyone knows I'm being offered something this day.
Yeah, especially with people from the same company. Whatever, it's fine. I'm not that salty. I am a little bit salty, but it's fine.
All right, I think
not
that's
as
far
away from mini motorways when I need it.
All right, and on that, we're going to end for today. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at ReadTLDR, at Aizyesque, and at Logan Ramhap. We will be back again next week with full in Cologne mode.